focus on the idea of following through on things today and why that is so vitally important, especially seemingly meaningless things. I touched on this briefly in a previous video, but I really think it deserves a video of its own in describing the importance of it and the idea of casual appropriation, meaning that once an idea starts, it slowly spreads its way through society. So, for example, if there is a school and there's a bunch of guys and they're working hard and one person starts cheating, they might get away with it, right? And then slowly another person might say, hey, I might try that, and it slowly appropriates to be that culture, and then everybody's doing it, and it just is not a beneficial thing at all. And this happens in both ways. It happens in good and bad forms. However, it's more common in bad forms. So overall, I want to talk about why it's so vitally important to follow through on the everyday casual things. Oftentimes people are like, oh yeah, it's something I do every day, it's not important. That's definitely not the truth. The things that you do every day are the most important, because think about it like this. If you spend maybe 5 hours a day doing the normal things you do every day, that's just a habit that you do consistently pretty much every day of the year, right? If you improve those habits over the course of a year, right, exponentially you're doing it 5 hours a day, right? That's 5/24ths of a year, right? Think about that in days, like that's a lot more, right? So you're spending that many days working and doing it suboptimally or not really caring about it. If you do it, but you do it with purpose and you do it well and you try to improve yourself in those 5 hours a day doing the same thing you do over and over a day, right? You're going to get so much better consistently. So that's why the menial things, doing it like every day, like brushing your teeth, is so important. If you didn't, right, you just don't care about it, it's going to cause issues in the long term. That's just a pretty easy example to see in action. However, that's not exactly why it's important to follow through on menial things, right? Brushing your teeth is important because you want to have clean teeth and be healthy. However, that's not the real point of the message. The real point is that you don't want to develop a habit of not following through. So the habit of following through is, for example, you're at the gym, right? And you're working out, and obviously that means you're breaking down muscle, so it's a little bit uncomfortable sometimes. Like, so say that you're doing 10 reps, right, per set, and you're doing squats, right, and you're on your 8th rep, and you think, all right, I'm gonna give up, I'm gonna stop now. And that's not because there's something physically wrong with you. There's nothing that's like, all right, my quad is about to tear if I keep doing this, right? It's all in your mind. So you are allowing your mind to be rewarded for giving up, right? Your mind is like, stop, 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 because it doesn't know. It just thinks that you're harming yourself or having to run from a predator. Like, instinctually goes back to like pretty much when we were all primates. Well, we are still, but very early primates. And it just seems like this fight, it's in that very primitive mindset. So when your mind is rewarding you, like, feels good now, there's no more pain now that you're stopping, right? So you develop a habit of thinking that, all right, on 8, I can give up, right? And in that cultural appropriation idea, that's what happens everywhere you do. It's 8. You're never finishing what you start. You're never finishing the 10. You're only going to an 8. And that is an issue, because when you develop a habit of not finishing things, then it spreads through everything you do. And when you have that, it's like, you might start a project and you're going to waste so much time and effort and energy going through 8/10 of the way on something and then saying, all right, I'm done. And especially you can look at it like if you're doing a school project and you're just like 8/10 of the way done and you're missing that last 2/10 of the thing, which might be like citing a bibliography, doing the extra details, things like that. Those extra details and those things are the most important 9 times out of 10, right? Having the details matter. That's how you are going to achieve to the next level, because it means that all the other stuff is super easy, right? If you can do the 8/10 really easily, then it means that the 2/10 that you have to do after, the details, the hard parts to get through, to finish strong, is going to be in your wheelhouse because you've been able to get the beginning part done with so quickly and efficiently, right? So if you just think, all right, yeah, maybe it's 6, I get 6 out of 10 done, and then I'm able to move on and do some details, maybe like 6 to 8 details, but it's not the real fine, narrow, important details of that 8 to 10, right? It's a lot of numbers being thrown at you, and it's pretty broad metaphor. But the idea is that you can't just develop a habit of not following through. It's like developing a habit of losing. Why would you want to do that? Think about it, right? If you start losing and you just think, okay, that's what I'm going to do, then you just do it over and over and over and over again. There's nothing to tell you to stop because it's like, yeah, it's fine, right? So when you're being rewarded by your brain for stopping working out or doing something menial, right? Working out is just an example, but it really stems to anything, right? I'll give you a real life example and story here. So I was doing an AP test, right? So an advanced placement test where you take the course throughout the year and you have the option to take the test at the end of the year to try to get college credit for the course, right? So I was not intending to go to college next year, so it was really not beneficial for me. And regardless, I probably wouldn't have been able to get a 5 out of 5 on all 4 of the tests I'm taking, right? So, anyways, the idea is that I'm still going to take the test because that is something that's important. I started the commitment and I said, all right, at the beginning of the year, I'm going to take this AP course, which automatically assigns you to the test. So that responsibility is something that I decided upon, right? And nobody else in the class took the test, right? I was the only one, and I was really questioning, like, why am I here? This just seems kind of silly, right? Like, I'm the only guy, I'm making the proctor do this. This is a lot of effort for everyone, but why am I doing it? And the answer is because of the habit, right? The actual end result may not be the most beneficial thing in the world, right? I have to go and take a 4 or 5 hour test, right? That might not be the most enjoyable and most enriching thing ever, right? Of course, it's definitely good because it's a test and you get to test your knowledge and stuff, but overall, it seems like, yeah, why would I subject myself to that, right? And the answer is not because of the physical result. It's because of the mental habit that I'm developing. The mental habit of following through on a commitment I made at the beginning of the year is going to allow me to be stronger in the future. And when I do go to college or I do something later on in life, I'm going to be able to think, all right, this may seem like it's kind of stupid, but I know it's important because it's going to help me in all aspects of my life. And you can look at that on pretty much any scale. Most things are beneficial for you in different aspects of life. There's nothing that's just unidimensional, where it's like, okay, yep, I'm going to work out and that is going to only help me be stronger. No, your working out is going to improve your life expectancy, probably your cardiovascular ability, possibly you're going to look better, maybe you'll meet somebody new at the gym. Like, there's so many different things that come. Nothing is unidimensional in the fact that you do it because of that, and that is the only reason why, right? If you look at things like that, you're not going to get the most out of it, and you're going to start the you, which links all of these different events like school, gym, practice, all these things together. You, which link all the things together. If you are weak in one area mentally, it's going to stem to all the other ones because of that casual appropriation I talked about earlier, where it is that if one person starts doing it, then it's going to go to the next person, and they're like, hey, maybe I can start doing that, and it's just going to go to all of the different areas of your life, which is why it's so important to never give up because of something mental. You need to be able to follow through, make it a habit. Make it a habit to follow through, and you're going to be able to be much more successful and develop a habit of following through. Well, I hope I wasn't framed.